a lot of the religion processes come about because somebody said, hey, I did this, I did XYZ, and I got this result. And so this must be the way to God or to whomever you speak of. And so this is going to be the practice. Everybody follows this religion because this is how we do it. This is the how-to process. And so don't do that, don't do the other. Don't. And so they come up with a list of the do nots.
Welcome to the Business Ownership Podcast, brought to you by Awareness Strategies, helping you navigate the waters between entrepreneurship and ownership. Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedlick, and I'm super glad that you're here with us today because I'm here with my most amazing guest, Jeff. Jeff, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Absolute pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. So give everybody the highlight of who you are and what you do for business.
Well, as you already know, I'm Jeff McKoy. I'm an Amazon #1 best-selling author. I'm also the leading authority in the persuasive influence of ethical communicative expression. And basically, I help struggling coaches who are spiritually conscious or faith-aware to launch and grow their business from 0 to 6 figures in as little as 3 to 6 months without all of the overwhelm, the overworking, the burnout, the confusion, the fear that comes along with it. That's basically who I am and what I do and who I'm helping.
And if you're brand new to business and you don't realize those things are coming, well, they kind of probably are. Let's talk to Jeff. But before we get into that, Jeff, how did you get into business coaching, especially faith related, as your thing?
Well, actually, I started in the business coaching world as a result of trying to do something benevolent in my church. I actually, my father is the 3rd generation pastor, and I am worship leader and musician at the church. And he asked me to learn about internet marketing so I could teach it to people at the church. Boy, I thought that was going to be a little quick move, but
right. That sounds very left field all of a sudden. It's like, you want me to do what? Why would I do that?
And at the time, I thought I had to have a best-selling book. Or at least have a book in order to build authority and establish my brand, which is not necessary, but that's what I thought at the time. So that's the path I went down and built a book that went in 5 different directions because I knew nothing about marketing, and then stumbled across the real marketing world where there was actually people teaching the stuff and things to learn and certifications. And if you've started on that journey in it all, you already know that it's just like it's a madhouse and all the things that are available to learn and consume.
And it is a madhouse. You can read 5 books and they all have contradictory information. That's great fun. So yeah, the journey lasted and then brought you to here and now. And who would you say now is your ideal clientele that you work with, or who comes to you the most often? Either one.
Basically, coaches who are in the business space that have a knowledge-based product that they're trying to get out, and also as well as experts. Anyone who falls in the category of informational, knowledge-based coach or expert, those are people that I help on a regular basis. And I mean, that's my jam. That's what we do.
Nice. So what would you say what differentiates them from other kinds of marketing, or what makes that more fun for you?
Well, growing up in ministry, I had to develop a love for people, obviously, and I do genuinely care about people. I love people and I love helping them, and that's kind of what put me here. But in that process, it's like what makes what I'm doing. It's like I've as I started out on this journey, I had a lot of things that I went through, a lot of lessons to be learned, and a lot of things that had to be changed and shifted within myself. They say that building a business online is one of the most stringent self-help and development type paths you can possibly take, because there's so much mess that we have inside of ourselves that needs to get handled so we can get it out of the way so we can move forward. And that, I spent a long time keeping a separation of church and state because, in as far as the marketing world, and I didn't want anybody to, cross me up or know anything about my spiritual background initially, as far as my Christian background, if you will. And ironically, it's when I got deeper into the online world and began to learn more about spirituality than what I had gained, just from my regular biblical studies, it expanded my horizons tremendously. And I mean, that really made the difference. That changed everything. It changed the entire game, because when we're out there trying to do this stuff, and we don't know, we're all in our victimhood, and it's us against the world. We're fighting against the jungle, and we don't know anything about aligning ourselves to bring about the things that we need to have working with us with ease. And ironically, being having a Christian background and learning church all my life, I knew very little, understood very little about the world of spirituality. And you can't have one without the other, because it's the foundation of all religions, to some degree.
Well, and I have conversations with my Jewish friends and my Chinese friends and going, okay, so who's got the stranglehold on guilt? Is it Catholics, Jews, or Chinese? And we're like, no, I own it. No, I own it. Oh, no, my mother owns it. I assure you. And to your point, I think it does bear a lot into, right. It's better to be poor than to be rich. It's better to, be noble. It's better to not talk too much about yourself. You can't be too prideful. You can't be too boastful. All of those make it very difficult to be able to market your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the biggest thing, as far as understanding yourself and putting yourself out there, there's a degree of vulnerability you got to have in order to be able to connect with people. And, even in my own story, ironically, I went through most of my life kind of reserved and holding back from people because, even though I was raised up in the church, I dealt with rejection at as early as the age of 5, and it made a deep impact on me that just kind of rippled throughout life. And I went through a stage of being a people pleaser, and it was just stifling as far as wanting to go forward, because when you are trying to move forward with your own life and you're trying to please everyone else, and as opposed to pleasing yourself and trying to walk around the maze so you don't step on the landmines that other people think are taboo or that you should not be stepping on, you put yourself at a grave disadvantage, and you don't truly become powered, or empowered rather, until you get to the place to where you are willing to displease and dissatisfy others so that you can please and satisfy yourself. Because it is only from within that you're going to get the true guidance, the intuitive instruction, and the divine path, which, regardless of what your religious belief may be, but you still have to have that spiritual connection with what I call God, and you may call the universe or Mother Nature, or however you refer to it. But the thing is, you have to have something before you that's greater than the person you see in the mirror when you're in the bathroom. So you got to be able to rely upon something that is not limited by your years or your intellect or your acquired knowledge or your scope of understanding, because there are going to be things that you will not understand, and you're going to have to rely upon something greater than you in order to get to, as we say in church, the promised land.
Love that. Well, and it's so true. And I love that everybody needs to hear that in the way that suits them best. I clearly have a very different approach to the whole thing, and I don't diminish or demean at all that there are other ways to say that. Like, it's my way is not the best way. Would never say. So, dude, if you want to take my route, you're probably taking the hardest route there is. Do not do that. There are nice and awesome people like Jeff out in the world that will hug you and take care of you and
I will.
nurture you through that whole process. And I love that. And I think it's so important to hear it in whatever way makes sense to you, that you're not giving up on yourself, and you're not giving up on the things that you believe. You're actually embracing who you are, and you're embracing the things that you believe in order to do more, provide better, to stand up to things. Just, it's kind of like taking the diamond in the rough, and you have to go through that process of chipping off the chips on your shoulder, in my case, and being able to kind of become that diamond that you were meant to become.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. The thing is that when I started out on trying to just do business, surely separation of church and state, as I said earlier, trying to just grunt it out and grind it out and hustle. And and so many of us fall into that trap, and we spend so much time learning one thing, and as quick as we're learning it, something's changing in the industry and it's becoming obsolete, and it's like we're on this never-ending learning cycle, and then we start trying to build things before we realize that we can't do anything. We can't do all this alone. We need to be surrounded by people that support us and help us to actually expand our messages out there. And that's one of the things that I have learned. I learned the hard way, is running into brick walls and running into obstacles and challenges simply because I didn't take the time to take my foot off the brake, see what was inside of me that was actually preventing me from moving forward and creating obstacles where there did not need to be any. And when you're out there just looking for that one trick or that one trend or one platform or software, and the truth of the matter is there is no one. You can win with any of these things, but you actually have to have a connection with with a divine understanding or higher level of understanding than just, hey, I'm smart enough, I can figure it out. I mean, literally, you're not going to go out there and make 6 figures and 7 figures and make it more than doctors, in a matter of a few months and think that you're not going to have to do any work inside yourself. You're self-deceiving, because if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. If it was just the knowledge that was on YouTube that you could go and just learn the steps, there'd be millionaires out the yin yang. But that's not the case. I mean, how many of you have tried to actually go out there and do things just because you follow the step by step and you realize, hey, this step ain't in there, or hey, there's an extra step here. What do you do in that situation? You can't, and there's no one, there's a hole in the highway, so to speak, on the path that you're going, and there's no one that you can call that's dealt with that particular road, who's experienced that particular challenge. No one that can give you a side map or a topographical map on how to work around it. It's those times that you got to lean into your own belief and trust and have faith in, in your abilities to succeed and to rise above the circumstance. And as you believe it in your core and you move forward with action and execution, it will lift you up and set you on the other side of that crater in the road, and you can continue your journey.
Love it. And I could listen to you talk forever, so I'm not going to deny that one. So when, to me, I have seen people put out advertising going, I just have to do this Facebook ad, and Facebook ads are going to save my life, whatever it is. And with a little bit of personal development, they actually don't even change the ad. And suddenly with the internal tweaks, now all of a sudden the things that weren't working start to work and start to move. Has that been your experience as well?
Yeah, actually, I actually started experiencing shifts. The more I started to understand myself, internally and on a spiritual level, things began to shift for me. It was a lot of hustle and grind, but when I started to recognize that there are laws that have to be followed that transcend anyone's religious beliefs or perspectives, and whether you believe in them or not, they exist, and you can either work with them or you can work against them. But if you're working against them, it's going to be a long, hard journey. And the thing is, you can't beat these laws and principles. You have to align yourself with them. You got to swim with the stream of the current and not against the stream if you ever hope to get to your destination. So that's basically been my experience in enlightening, becoming enlightened, rather, as to how I should be proceeding. And when I actually got a deeper understanding of enlightenment, and I saw that, hey, I cannot think the same old ways I used to think. I cannot continue to do the things I did before and expect that things are going to shift. A lot of times we are focusing, we have an idea of what we want, but you can't sit out there and think, or hey, look, spend 15 minutes a day, praying or meditating or doing your yoga or whatever you may be doing, and then spend the other 23 hours and 45 minutes doing the same old that you did before and think that you're going to make a dent in your situation. It's a lifestyle. It's a stance, a position you got to take and you got to walk in and embrace. And when you do that, so much energy comes and you become alive and things become easy. Who said it has to be hard? It doesn't have to be hard. It can be so easy if you understand how to operate in alignment with truth and not against it.
Love that. And understanding that if you're human, there are rules. Being human, it's kind of like being an engineer and going, I want to put up a bridge and I'm going to defy gravity. It's like, well, you might, but you still want to understand gravity, how it works. There's certain elements there you got to understand. And that's another reason why I love this conversation, is that people can find themselves in getting the message in a way that fits for them, so that it makes that transition easy, because that transition is never easy. I mean, somebody famously said that, the only way to get through that is to go through hell. It's like not many people are willing to go through hell to get there. And what we don't understand is hell is in our head, and we can absolutely get through it. We live with it every day. We can transcend it. And it's just the way that we find most comfortable doing that.
Exactly.
It's like there's a lot of dichotomy going on.
Exactly. But as we adjust ourselves and we start moving in the direction of not just thinking about the steps, but thinking holistically, when you place growth as a constant part of your reach, and place service as a constant part of your reach, those things have got to be high up on the spectrum. You got to be able to grow to have anything to give, and you got to serve if you want to enrich the world as well as enrich your bank accounts. While you're building this business, if you got to be providing service and solving a problem. And if you're not solving a problem that people are wrestling with, then good luck with that, because business is all about solving problems. The more problems we solve will determine our ability to earn and generate monies in our own business. And the bigger the problems, the more money we can make as we solve those problems for other people. So you don't look at problems as obstacles that stop you from going forward. Now, every time you solve a problem, you have got another solution that you can use to help your clients, to help your customers. You can pass that knowledge on to make their journey a little bit easier, and they don't have to stay stuck in that situation that you might have spent however long you spent stuck in it, whether it was a year or 6,
So what are some of the issues that particularly faith-based entrepreneurs have that stop them from succeeding in business? That
I would say, yeah, even though I have my faith, I have a strong Christian background. However, I don't push my religious beliefs off on anyone. One of the things is that I would say is pretty common with many faith-based or religious organizations is that, many of them say, well, hey, we got our set of rules, and our rules is the right way. And anybody who's not following these rules, the way that we have received it, they end up, they're saying, hey, look, there's a lot of judgment in that, and there's a lot of condemnation. And the thing is what we fail to realize is that religion in and of itself is a process. It's our processes and our how-tos of how we worship our deity, even though mine is God, but if yours is Buddha, or if it's, whatever path you're in, it's a process is what religion is. But spirituality is your consciousness and awareness of your human spirit and the unified connection that it has with all there is, with everything, with who I call God. And if you aren't aware of the difference that religion is process and spirituality is states of being, how can you walk in the state of being that you need in order to overcome the obstacles that have held you back just by following religious practice? Those are the problems that people that operate in just structural religious process, they run into obstacles like, okay, well, can't do this, check that off, can't do that, check that off. We got to do this way, we got to love each other. And yes, we do need to love each other. And that's a spiritual truth. But the thing is that a lot of the religion processes come about because somebody said, hey, I did this, I did X, Y, Z, and I got this result. And so this must be the way to God or to whomever you speak of. And so this is going to be the practice. Everybody follows this religion because this is how we do it. This is the how-to process. And so don't do that, don't do the other. Don't. And so they come up with a list of the do-nots. And as a result, those do-nots embed into our being. And we live and try to operate and go through what many of us believe is the jungle of life until we become empowered, that we know that we have some power to commandeer the highways or the waterways, if you will. We can actually change the direction of our vessel, and we can actually navigate the waters in a way that is going to deliver us to where we're trying to get to, as opposed to just being a stranded ship without a sail, tossed around in the water like a feather in a hurricane with no particular direction that we can actually control as far as taking ourselves to where we're trying to get to. And when you can step into the higher state of knowing that there is something greater on the outside, or greater on the inside, if you will, than just what you see in the mirror, you can shift your beliefs about who you are. You can change your mind about who you will become, and you can step into and walk into that. That's how, like, even in my program, I talk about faith-led CEOs. And it's not about religious-based CEOs. I don't, even though I have faith, I don't consider myself a faith-based entrepreneur. I consider myself a faith-aware entrepreneur. And also a spiritually conscious entrepreneur, and understanding that I know that that is a state that I must walk into, I must embody it, I must be constantly aware of, so that I can navigate myself away from those things that would be limiting and binding by structure of religious process.
Preaching to the choir, baby. Loving that. You have to have faith in your vision in order to be able to succeed at it. Period. End of story. Like, it has to be. And in my humble opinion, you got to figure out the best way to do that for you in order to get to self-empowerment. So in a minute, I'm going to ask you about a Cinderella story of one of your clients. But before I do that, we're going to take a little bit of a pause.
Are you running a business over 7 figures but still struggling with technology headaches? Pay attention, you do not want to miss this offer. This podcast episode is brought to you by Awareness Strategies, who is offering a custom-built digital adoption roadmap for anyone running a business over 7 figures who's wanting to grow their business in the next 5 years. And it's not just a roadmap, they offer full implementation as well if that scares the out of you. Check out awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap for more details today. The link's in the show's notes. Don't regret not doing this. Do it now. That's awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap.
I am super jazzed, and I cannot wait to hear about a Cinderella story of one of your clients. So go ahead.
Oh, I'll be happy to tell you about one. I have one particular client, name's Lana. I won't go into all of her information, but you can find her inside of my stuff. But she was actually a single mom of 2, and she was working in a doctor's office, doing receptionist work. And she had a very, very rough childhood and dealt with a lot of things. And it was inside of her ability to learn the processes in the business systems that I was able to share with her, as far as the steps. You got to have steps, got to have a strategy, got to have a plan for how you're going to communicate your message and get it out there. But she's actually a spiritual healer at this particular point, and she was able to within 90 days, she was able to actually quit her job and hit 6 figures in monthly revenue. And the thing is, let me back up a little bit. I'm not saying that she was making 6 figures a month yet, but I'm saying she was able to get 6 figures in the business. But she was within 6 months, less than 6 months, she was able to leave her job and also move into her first brand new home from a small, tiny, cramped apartment where her she had 2 boys, as a matter of fact, and a girl. Her girl slept in a room with her, and her 2 boys shared the other room, a small, tiny, cramped apartment. Now she has a brand new home built from the ground up, a brand new car, 6 figures that she's making right now. She does not work in anybody's doctor's office. She's a 100% entrepreneurial, and she attributes that to the things that she learned from me, which you can learn more about her inside my stuff if you start to investigate. And, it was a life changing. And that is the reason why I do this stuff. I want to see people change. I want to see people healed. And when they have a lot of these pains and hurts that come with them, and some of them are church hurts, but when they have these pains and they need some guidance, need to be kind of guided out of the woods of it all, And when they can make that transformation, they go from being a caterpillar into the cocoon, and then they transform into that butterfly, and they start to spread their wings. It's a beautiful thing. And then they come back and they're like, hey, thank you. And the gratitude, that makes the whole journey worth it, just to see them change their lives, change it for the children, change the heritage for families to come behind them, maybe their grandchildren and great-grandchildren. It's a lasting change. And if you're going to do anything, you got to be doing it for a purpose. And that's the type of transformation that has me doing this stuff. This is why I got into it, even coming from my church, to start helping people who were in a small town of the haves and the have-nots. Either you were the rich or you worked for the rich. And it was a process of sharing opportunities that would allow them to come out of that situation and take the reins and control and command their own life so that they could become what they need to become.
A while ago, that was awesome. I know we have a lot of proverbial Delilahs listening right now that are going to want more from you. So how did they start that journey with you?
Well, you can actually reach out to me on jeffmckoy.com/connect. You'll find there Jeff McKoy, JEFFMCKOY.com/connect. And that will give you all of my links as far as where you can find me at on social media. There's also, I have a PDF that's available through that as well. It's actually a whole lot more than a PDF. You'll find that if you get it. It's designed to help you discover the blind spots, the coaching business blind spots, and that applies also to online experts as well. But it's designed to help you identify and shift your own personal coaching business blind spots so that you can move those things out of the way and you can start taking off, with speed and power, and as opposed to being hit and met by one roadblock after another. And so I definitely invite you to go and check that out. It's something that'll bless you.
I love it. I absolutely be going and checking that out. We will, of course, have all of Jeff's links in the show notes. So go ahead and scroll down, click on the links, open up in a new browser because we're not done yet. So, Jeff, at what point in life did you know you're special kind of crazy enough to think that you could become an entrepreneur?
Well, I was probably in high school. Going up to high school, my father, used to tell us, said, if you master the English language, you can choose your job. And as a result, we learned how to articulate with just a precise shade of color and meaning and so forth. But as we got into high school, me and my brothers, he began to talk about business ownership. And so my first business was I was selling Jolly Rancher sticks at high school, making about $15 a day, which that was big money back then.
Nice.
In high school, we're talking about, I don't want to say how many years ago that was, back in the late 80s, 90s. But that is where I got the bug, and I started digging and learning self-development and things of that nature. But it was many years before I would ever find out that the spiritual component that I needed, because I did start a successful offline business. I used to own a home health agency that was licensed in 14 counties across the state of North Carolina, where I live. And I did well with that, state certified, Medicaid certified, et cetera. But I followed principles. I followed spiritual truths unbeknownst to me. When I look back on the situation, what I did, I was following specific truths. And one of those specific truths was keeping my eyes directly focused on the thing that I wanted, as opposed to like putting blinders on a horse where they don't look to the left or look to the right. I stayed focused on the end result. Stephen Covey said, begin with the end in mind. And that is part of keeping that vision in front of you, as opposed to keeping the other things that you don't want in front of you. We spend, 2-3% of our time thinking about the wonderful things that happen in our life, and the good things and the favorable things and the positive things that work out for us. And we only spend the other 95 to 98% of our time worrying about how we're going to get past this problem and this challenge and this obstacle. So quite naturally, where your attention is, you are mediating your focus and your love, and you're trajecting it in the wrong direction. So that's what you're pulling more of into your life, whether you're aware of it or not. So stop it. Got to stop that stuff. That's the only way to break that cycle. You got to become aware of where your mind is and understand that it's a garden, and you got to plant the seeds, and you got to weed it, and you got to fertilize it and water it. And you can't just do it by occasionally 15 minutes a day and maybe 15 minutes 3 days from now when you think about it again. You got to be a guardian of your mind and your thoughts so that you can plant the fruits and the seeds that you want to mature and be realized in your own experience.
I love it. Fantastic final words, unless you got something else for us.
Actually, I have, I do have a couple of things that are coming out now, and one being that I'm looking to start a podcast myself soon, titled Faithing Your Business. There's a lot of misconceptions about manifesting and co-creation and faithing. I call it faithing because of my Christian background, but we're still talking about the same process. It works the same way. And so I plan on tearing down a number of barriers that keep people from expanding their horizon and their consciousness so that they can actually benefit from understanding spiritual truths that can actually make their life easier and get away from the pain that they've been dealing with. So that book I'll be announcing before long. The first couple of books I have out is Life I Command You. And also my last book was EP3, Unleash Your Ethical, Passion-Powered Purpose. That one went to #1 on Amazon in 8 different categories. So I feel good about that. But the one I'm really excited about, this one, I don't even want to release the title of it I'm working on. It's going to be a game changer for a lot of people to make things so much easier. So be on the lookout for that. And also be on the lookout for the Faith in Your Business podcast. They'll probably be hitting by the first of the year.
Nice. I love it. That is awesome. And wow, you're prolific. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. You're so amazing and so professional and so articulate and refined. And I love it. I love you.
Aw, that's so sweet. Thanks, baby. Okay, Mutual Admiration Club is closed now. We're going to talk to you in a bit. Peeps, thank you for being here with us today. We appreciate having you. We love helping entrepreneurs grow.
Are you running a business over 7 figures but still struggling with technology headaches? Pay attention, you do not want to miss this offer. This podcast episode is brought to you by Awareness Strategies, who is offering a custom-built digital adoption roadmap for anyone running a business over 7 figures who's wanting to grow their business in the next 5 years. And it's not just a roadmap, they offer full implementation as well if that scares the out of you. Check out awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap for more details today. The link's in the show's notes. Don't regret not doing this. Do it now. That's awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap.